Call this meeting to order, and here on Monday, January 8th, 2024. Just want to make that one little change to the, if that's okay, to make that little change to the accident. So again, it's 2024. Let's go to that. We can amend that if we want to. Can I ask, Toby, you want to lead some prayers?
Sure. Dear Heavenly Father, I just praise your holy and wonderful name, Lord. I pray that you'll bless our meetings, Lord, bless our minds and our hearts. Help us to please guide us and direct. Doing other things, Lord. I thank you for the service. All these things I ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. All right, everyone's here except Shannon's not here. Commissioner Bergdorf said that she couldn't be here tonight. But everybody else there, so we've got a forum.
Mr. Chairman, I got something to
Yes, sir.
I wanted to add to you.
Absolutely.
So, okay?
Yes,
Sorry to
of
interrupt
course.
you. I saw something on budget that related to highway that I think we need to discuss here first as a reappropriation of some funds that you're asking budget for. I just thought procedurally we should have it here, so can we add it for discussion?
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same vote. Okay, where do you want to add that? Can we add that right there, new business right there, want to do number 3? Is it okay, guys? Report of the road superintendent, number 3?
Yeah.
And, what do we want?
What, number 3, B3 or? 7B3.
Yeah, 7B3. And,
Discussion on, Toby, what is it, reappropriation of some funds?
Well, it was,
Just in short, so you could write it on here.
Tim, we had a discussion 2 months ago about it. It was on the agenda, and we went through it. We can have it again. Here's where it was on the agenda last time. And what we discussed was me being transparent and try to let y'all know what I'm trying to do is go to budget to get a transfer, try to help out with my guys. We've lost 9 people since July 1st.
What do we call it? What do we want to call it?
Well, you can call it.
Discussion on Highway Fund Society?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because we'll just move on past that. We've already voted on it, if that's okay, guys. And so, I just want to keep this, so we're not overstepping on, the committees coming after us. Also, if y'all wouldn't mind, I'm gonna make a motion that we just change that little oversight to 2024. I know we talked about it. Can I get a second on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, so with that being added, is there anything else we need to add to the agenda that y'all want added? Okay.
I'll move to accept the agenda.
Okay, I got a motion. Second. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Okay, so we're gonna move on to the approval of the minutes from last meeting. Okay.
Second.
Second. We got a motion and second to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same vote. Okay, public recognition. Would anyone like to come speak? Okay. Okay, so we're gonna close that. We're gonna move past that. Okay, for the chairman, I have no news to report, so I'm just moving past that. Report of the road superintendent. Tell me the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Okay. The new business that I was wanting to bring forth is I brought you acceptance of the official road list. Basically, what it entails is anything that we went through here and voted on and added roads to it. This is just an updated version with those roads added to it. Once we get through this meeting tonight, if we go ahead and approve Somerset and Norman Farms, I will add that to it as well. But I didn't want to do that until we got through this meeting. So, some, remedial work, but we got, me and Marshall did our inspections. They did some undercuts on this road, improved road, and then they went in and overlaid it, and all the work is completed and done, looks really good. It is, there any questions about Somerset Downs? I know some of you live over in that area, you can ride by and look at it.
Do we get like a maintenance warranty on that total?
Well, what we've got in it, we do have a bond for the first year, and then after a year, we would accept the road tonight, but it would go another year on the bond.
Who determines, this is probably a dumb question, but I've had citizens ask me this, who determines the speed limits in these residential areas? I know from a city point of view that, a lot of them want the speed limit lowered. Not that that's going to do anything really, but would it be the county that does that?
The county would set it. A lot of these subdivisions come in after they go through planning and everything, and they basically have the speed limit set through planning and the plats and everything. But it is something that, I think like Somerset, it's 15, 20 mile an hour speed limit. And they're, when I see something like that needs to be adjusted, and that's something I would bring to this committee and let them know we need to do an adjustment. I think the only thing that I have done since I've been in office, we changed a stop sign in a subdivision. Yeah.
Question just about procedure on this. So we approve a road after you guys have inspected it and make sure they meet all the conditions for us to accept the road. What is our criteria for saying no? Just if you say it didn't pass, like, why else would we say no? Do we have a choice to approve a road? It feels like almost this is backwards, that we're going to accept a road. We should be thinking about that and voting on that before the subdivision gets built. You know what I'm saying? Once it's built, we kind of have to accept it.
Once they follow the county regulations and they do everything correctly and everything has passed, then we do accept it.
Right, so why is that a vote?
It's just a vote of acceptance, of acknowledgement that, and then it's because it's going to the official road list. You're voting on to accept it onto the official road list, and then once that's done, that's one thing that this committee, this is one of y'all's duties.
So, but the thing is, though, I agree with what Commissioner Jones is saying. At that point,
What if we say no?
I mean, look, because we can say no, but what happens if we say no? Because as a commission, we have no control over what the 24 votes will be. And so, if the 24 votes, if the majority says, simple majority says, no, we're not going to accept it, what is that?
Who maintains it at that point?
Yeah, who maintains that road, and is it privatized?
Well, it'll be a lawsuit at that point because they've got the law on their side because they followed our county regulations to get it approved.
That somebody said that they could do it.
That's right.
Planning?
Yes.
Planning approves it.
And we have our own specifications and regulations that the county has implemented. And once that whole process is done, I mean, they go through the process of getting engineers. They get the plats drawn up. They submit the plans. It has to go through planning, and then they start the construction process. And they do a proof row on the subgrade. They check out the subgrade. They look at the utility. They check out the curve before it's put in, where it's going to go. Then they put down the base dome, and then base dome's inspected. Then they do the binder, and then once before the surface goes in, they have to inspect it.
I got the procedure part of it. It's just, I wondered, this is really just a vote of formality. It's not.
I don't know.
Approved. That happens at the beginning point.
Yeah, I don't know that one's ever been turned down once it's been approved through the process, right?
But you have met that threshold of what is it, 75% built out?
Yeah. Once you
So
get
it's all built out, correct?
it's all built out.
Okay.
Yes. And the thing is that it's something that we hold their feet to the fire. The next one, the Norman Farms, is the one that they had to go up and take the road up. I mean, I had them take almost the entire road up and redo it.
So you're not even gonna bring it to us, if that's the case, you're gonna keep them finishing it?
No, they did it, they went in and undercut it, they
Yeah.
redid it.
We don't see it until you approve it.
Yeah, and so it's all been done, now it's ready to go, but they spent a few $100,000 on
Well, like I said, it's just a procedural question for me to understand how it's done, because it really, is a question about growth and impact fees and things like that, that really needs to be addressed, because we can't not approve it, it sounds like.
And so, and just for time's sake, when we come through here, I mean, this approval list right here, that's a no vote right there, that's right, is that right? That's a no vote, but it's just it goes forward and then we accept it or we don't as a full commission.
Right.
And so then the same way with these, right, is there a vote?
There's a vote on this.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, we're voting on this.
So, I'll entertain a motion, for these two roads,
It's just one road, it's Luxbury, we'll vote on it separately.
well, it says, I was confused because of the way the diagram was, I'm sorry.
It's just a vote for maintenance, correct, Toby?
Do what?
It's just a vote for maintenance of it.
Accepting it as a
Accepting it.
road.
It's completed, so if you approve it, it'll go on the official road list.
Adds to our list.
And once we approve it, it's our basic.
Yeah.
And they're on maintenance, bond maintenance for a year, and if something happens.
It just, something feels off about it though. I mean, I know we've always accepted roads, apparently, but there's probably for instance, where we haven't.
Well, there's been instances where the city takes roads in too, and we lose roads.
So the thing I'm wondering is I would like to find out, that procedure, just to know, and just instead of saying, yeah, we just always accept it. Because I think that, I don't know when it would be appropriate not to, but, what if this one came back and didn't do their due diligence every time, and you say, well, it's just a terrible road, but we gotta accept it, we're in alert.
It's not gonna come to this table unless it's been done right.
So, you know what I mean? I feel like that just for the citizens' sake, they should know whatever procedure that is. If for some reason they wanted to petition that some road, I don't know what it would be, but you understand. Can we find out that procedure for next meeting, just to kind of just have an update on that from legal aspects?
Yeah, I can go to the regulations that we have here at the county and send it to you.
The way I understand it, he approves it because he knows the process. That's why I questioned why we approve it again. It's a formality.
Yeah, exactly.
He approves it because he knows everything about how that road should have been built, and if they check all the boxes, he comes to this committee.
One thing that I've done since I've been here, I've added Marshall Engineering, we do it together, because they're part of the system too, and I wanted to make sure if something happened, I would say it wasn't just me, we had people out there.
This is where I feel like the question's leading, and and we don't have to keep belaboring the point, but, have you ever hired somebody for a job, and they did such a terrible job, you wanted to redo it? And then the people that did the terrible job the first time did a terrible job the second time. And then it goes on 3 or 4 times, and finally you're like, you know what, thanks but no thanks, and then you wind up finishing it. Is there ever a point where that we get into it, where as a county, I think that's where Tim's question is going, are we getting to it where, as a county, and we say, look, it's never gonna be right.
Well,
What are we gonna do?
before it got to that point, I would go out to the bond money and I would finish it.
My question was more leaning towards, at the beginning part, when they approve that there can be a road put here, who do they run that past? It's the planning commission, but does anybody check with you whether or not we have the bandwidth tonight, asking for more money for your department, for raises or a transfer of money because you need raises, and we're struggling with
Well, this is how
that
we make money.
in
though.
many departments.
Yeah, we get taxes off the houses on these roads.
Taxes don't pay for maintenance there. Everybody knows that. We're constantly losing money because it all goes to schools. But my point is there a check with the road department to see if we can take on more roads in 18 months, 3 years, whenever this is built out? Will we be able to handle it? Do they check with you?
It has not been anything that we've had, we haven't had very many that we've had to accept since I've been in office. In fact, it's almost flushed out because we've had cities taking streets, and then we've had developments that come into the county, and it's not an overriding thing to where I'm getting a lot of roads added to the official road list.
I'm not concerned with the previous, but going forward, if there's not a rule in place or a checks and balances for that for your department, for you to have some say-so on that, is there anything we can do about that to check, for the planning commission to check with road superintendent to see if they can take on more work? Because they're going to generate more work for you, more work for the county maintenance. So
it's just like when you're playing Monopoly or something, and you've got a whole bunch of properties, you can't take on more because you can't afford it. There's a certain point where the citizens cannot afford to take on more roads. I don't know what that point would be, but I just feel like if we get to that point, and you said, well, it'd be a lawsuit if we didn't take it on, then there's some...
Everybody knows that subdivision is not going to pay for the road to be fixed every time. So is there room for that?
I don't see that being a real problem going forward because, like I said, the county's getting smaller.
Then you should never have to ask for more money. Like, the percentage should stay the same all the time. Your percentage.
The cost of goods go up.
Yeah, but taxes do too. I mean,
no. The bottom line is I can do, 15 years ago, it was ridiculous what I was paying for mix versus what we're paying for now. And it's just, it's always on
the cost of housing goes up. It does not, the ratio is not working in our favor. So I'm just asking, is it something the planning commission can run past the road department when they have a new plan come online?
I do get the emails, and they do let me know that this is something that they're going to go through with their
they're telling you what
they're showing me what's coming to their plan.
They're telling you what they're doing.
Yes.
That's my point. You don't have to say so. They're telling you what they're going to do. Whether you like it or not, that's what creates the problem. We got people that don't handle the money that are dictating the growth.
That's really what it comes down to. I think that's the point. I would like to know what it looks like
from the planning side,
and how they work with roads to find out, have we reached a point where we're past the point of, because the wheel tax and things like that should be paying for it to stay afloat, but then on the other hand, it doesn't seem to work that way, because if everything is just dictated by, we're going to pass this road through, then it's not fair to you, but it's sure not fair to the people who's paying more taxes throughout the years. And then what's bad is if they wind up paying the same amount of taxes and they have crappier roads to drive on. Sorry, not crappier, worse roads to drive on. But I just think that's a really important thing we need to be looking at, because as people who help them manage what they're having to pay in already, we got to figure out how to do that.
Well, like I said, we're flushing out right now as far as what we're taking out. I haven't seen, I remember a few years ago, I asked Judy what was the amount of roads that she had. It's pretty close to what we have now.
Because of annexation, people take it from you.
Yeah.
But 800 miles is still a lot of roads.
Still a lot of roads, and the highway department is another part of our infrastructure of this county that we have not kept up with.
Yeah.
I mean, we are so far behind the curve, folks, that it's going to take us quite a while to catch up.
Exactly.
And it's going to be hard.
It's the biggest asset the county has.
And probably one of the lowest percentages.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah. I know whenever Toby first got elected, several people he had leave, a few, and that's understandable. When whenever you have a change of command, you're gonna lose a few people. But some of the people that he's leaving now is because the pay, like other parts of the county, has not kept up with the surrounding areas. Have we ever done or considered doing a pay study for the highway department?
I know he did do one in
Okay.
comparison with other departments, but I know we're fixing to get into that on the new business
Okay.
section too.
So if we don't have, I don't wanna, we're getting pretty close on time, and I don't wanna be disrespectful to the other committees, but.
Well,
so-
let's vary for summer sit down.
Yeah, so, I'll entertain a motion, to.
Second.
Motion approved.
Yeah,
Second.
second. Okay, so did you, that's Commissioner Jones and then Commissioner Rice. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, and, for the
Next room.
next,
This is, 3 short roads, phase 1 of Norman Farms off of Anderson and Jones. It's John T. Alexander Boulevard, then Condor Place, and then James Gorley Road. This is the one that they did a very in-depth, redo. It's in A1 shape now, but it's a good road. It should be a good county road for years to come.
so any questions on that, guys?
I noticed, I noticed there wasn't any box culverts on that one. What do you guys typically do when you run into a box culvert? Do y'all have someone that looks at that, or do y'all watch it from cradle to grave, or?
We basically, from cradle to grave, when it gets to me, I mean, when the subgrade and the base stone gets to me, it's already been, they've been looking at it for some time before it gets to me. And it's curb and gutter, it's got catch basins.
Have you seen the rain event out there to see that it
Oh, yeah.
works properly and all that?
Oh, yeah, it's got 2% grade, it drains, it's very nice. But it didn't, it would have took me less time to, mark out the good areas than the bad areas.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Jones, second by Commissioner Terry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Okay, so, moving on to the next, item. Discussion on funds for the highway, payroll, correct? Is that where we are?
Yeah, I'll get it to you.
Before we do that, I would like to go ahead and approve the road list. That was the first thing on the.
Oh, we didn't,
Yeah.
I was thinking that passed, I'm sorry about that. It's not a pass-through?
No.
We do need to, we do need to
Sorry,
send it on to
I take
commission.
responsibility, I missed that. Okay, so, is it okay if we go back, because we missed that one? So I'll entertain a motion for accepting the full.
Well, I got a question on that. Is this just all the roads that we've compiled over all these meetings that have been added,
Right.
and now it's the new annual list,
Yes.
basically?
Yes, the only ones that have been added to it are the ones that we've talked about.
Okay.
And
And then he's gonna go back and add these others.
it's on the back page.
Plus these 5.
Yes, I will go back and add these to it.
Then,
If you look on the back
Yeah.
sheet, it's got the ones that we've approved.
No, it's fine. I just want to make sure I understood what we were voting on. No, I'll make a motion to approve.
All right.
I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so then, now moving on to discussion, I'm sorry about that oversight, guys. Make a motion for discussion.
So,
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Okay, Tim, go ahead.
I remember, that being discussed at a previous meeting. I did not remember whether or not we, had a, decision made on that, if we voted to send it up to budget, or if it was just something that you said was going to be coming, that you had done a pay study and saw that you were bleeding employees and stuff.
It was something that, and the thing that had led me to it, I've had now 15 guys that have left because of pay. It was a situation, and I basically showed y'all who's left since I've been in office and since September 1st, and I was telling all of you that I was trying to do kind of study on on it and wanted to go to budget with it to discuss about a transfer. And what I was trying to come up with at that time was an amount. I did.
An amount of?
A dollar amount.
What it would take.
Transfer, what it would take.
Okay, I want to interject one thing, if you don't mind. So the issue though is if you look at what the new budget agenda is, if anyone has it out there, does anyone have it right here that they could read the budget agenda item? Because it doesn't say transfer, it says appropriation. And so I think that constitutes something different, because I did look at that after we spoke.
No, it's a transfer.
Want to see the copy of the agenda? Ignore my notes though.
So, just to read this, and I'm going to get right back to him. It says Highway Department, 400, this is on the, but just for clarity, it's a Budget Committee agenda for tonight in this room after this, at 7 o'clock. It says Highway Department, new business, A3 is the line item. Highway Department, 450,000 appropriation from fund balance for salary increases and related benefits. So I just wanted to share that. I'm going to get us back to some.
Yeah, and what that means is a transfer from the fund balance. And that was one thing I talked to Matt Shope about today, to make sure. I said, one thing that I had in my mind was the transfer to cover an annual year. We don't need an annual year. We need a little more than a half a year now. And so I said, one thing that was a kind of a goof up on my part was I just need to get to June 31st. And I said, that will be closer to somewhere in the neighborhood of 250,000, not 450,000.
So I just want to say a couple of things because I don't want to talk just to be talking for my sake. I just wanted to say a couple of things that bother me about it. I think in many ways we want everybody needs to be paid more money. We know that all over the world. I don't know anyone that says they want less money, hardly ever. And sometimes there's a real strong need for that, and I get it. I'm not being not sensitive to that fact, but the time for this is we were put in these positions to be the ones who are guarding the money that is not ours, taxpayers' money, and it's very important to me that we keep that in mind, and we are not ever reactive as government. I feel like that's why that we get so upset when businesses or governments are reactive. We have to be proactive, and we can say, well, that's what we're being right now, but that's not true, because proactive means that back in the budget cycle when it was submitted back earlier is what we have, like back in March. And so March 1st of 2022, or 2023, it should have been submitted, in my opinion, and I believe in the taxpayer's opinion,
since July 1st leave based on pay.
I understand. And
3 or 4 of them was off the paving crew. If that happens again, I mean, I'm not asking for any money. I'm doing a transfer of a little over $200,000, and this could cost us millions if I lose my paving crew.
it says 450,000.
That's what I just told you before. I said I made a error on it because I figured it for the year. I've got to get to June 31st, which is a little over a half a year. And so I wasn't thinking, I just got to finish the year out. And that was the thing in talking to the committees about my budget was, man, just make it to the next year. Well, I've done that. I've tried to make it to the next year, and I'm losing people that has been there for 15, 16 years.
I'm sure that the mayor could use more money to pay his people. I'm sure that everybody out here could use more money to pay their people.
But these other departments are not going to lose you millions. Millions.
I mean, well,
I've got a.
Well, look at EMA and EMS. I mean, they're in dire straits. We've got sheriff's department. We got the teachers.
Because here's the thing: if you're sitting there, I've got the governor has gave us extra money. I've got extra money to pay with, and then I lose my paving crew, and then I'm having to spend twice as much to get somebody that already has more than they can do do it and half the work, and then we don't have a paving crew then. We're losing millions.
It's not good. Go ahead, Tim.
So that $250,000.
I mean, you're not giving me extra money. It's in the budget.
The $250,000, is that based on the raises you would have liked to have given when you calculated the amount that you brought to budget, which was denied? Is it,
No, I
bring
actually,
you back to where you would have been?
I asked for more. I mean, I was trying to get more money because we're sitting there looking at, I've got people that are anywhere from $7 to $10 underpaid based on the private sector. And I just went and did a pay study on other road departments and found that. And the thing is that there's a certain point to where you can have David Law in this. There's a certain point to where the benefits mean something. But then there's a point to where they go, golly, I got to go, man. I make $10 an hour more. And they got the experience to get it.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what Chairman Teachner's saying. I hear what you're saying. You came to us and asked for more money for pavings to pave roads, and made a really good case to do it. Let me hear me out. You made a really good case to do it. Now you're at the point where you don't have personnel to use it, so you want to transfer to get the ability to keep paving what you want to pay.
I've got guys with offers on the table. I've got guys that I've hired that.
I hear all that. Let me finish my point. I hear you. I see where you're at. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place. I have no doubt in my mind that what triggers all of this was an email written from a Robertson County employee telling us that we needed to pay our people more money. And then the public pressure is causing this to happen out of budget cycle. I don't like that. Nonetheless, we are where we are. You're losing people. I don't like doing this, but I think this, now that we've heard it all out, I think it may be an issue for budget to figure out, but everybody has to keep in mind that Robertson County employee got what they got because taxes were raised a considerable amount.
Yeah,
in Robertson County.
Well,
so that's all I want to say about it. I hear you, and I hear you, and I feel the same way you feel about it.
This is the list of the people. I've got 9 people since July 1st.
I don't doubt you.
And
I believe you.
I had another one today. Every Monday I come in, there's another person. And the thing that I'm getting at is that we have a fund balance. We put extra money in there because me and David Long talked. I mean, CTAS told us that gas prices are going to be down. We have been blessed with having good sales for gas. The money is there. I'm telling you that I only need half the money of what I needed, what I thought I needed.
But Toby, I run a company that had one of our strongest guys come in and put in his notice this last week, private sector. And we don't have another option as a private sector. We can't just say, well, okay, we'll take money from, we'll buy, lower grade glass, and put it, there's just things you can't do in a private sector. And so therefore, I know you said you're not coming and asking for money, but you are, because it's in a different fund. I understand you know that, but it's like we.
That's what I'm saying. The money is there. It's a transfer.
But the thing is,
the taxpayers are not paying one dime of it.
No, they're not. But the taxpayers are having to watch as the taxpayers are having to watch as these roads are. You're doing a great job on paving roads. I love that. It's wonderful. I'm getting a lot of people say something, and that's a super important thing because that allows our deputies to get to where they need to go quicker. It allows our ambulances to get there. That's all a very valid point. But we have to make sure that there's a moment where that we look at it as an annual, I don't use the word revenue, but an annual amount that's coming in from the taxpayer. Because remember, like Tim said, if it was from that, which it probably was, that's when everybody was aware of it, was the Robertson County employee, that taxes were raised. And so if we presented this before the people right now, I don't believe that they would say, yeah, do it. I think we would have a lot of people that say yes, A lot of people say no, but we have to be conscious of that, and I don't want to lose anybody, ever. I just think it's important.
Go ahead, John.
No, I'll just say real quick, and Commissioner, I can correct me if I'm wrong, I keep hearing that this Robertson County employee set off this triggered pay raise for the sheriff's department. I disagree with that.
I saw the
50, no, I'm saying I disagree with that a little bit. I understand it, but let's keep in mind the sheriff's department, what I was told, they did a pay study previous to this commission, was what I was told. And they felt like it was just basically thrown into the proverbial filing cabinet and nothing ever said. Well, yeah, and then they see that, that ad. I mean, if I'm a private sector employee and they've done a pay study and I don't hear anything about it, and then I hear my competitor is just going to hire me at, so I guess I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit, but I hear my competitor is going to be hiring at X number of dollars, it's going to get me a little bit upset. Is the timing good? No, timing's never good, but that's why we set in motion the step increases. And I guess I'm putting the cart before the horse on this. Maybe we need to look at the highway department doing step increases because.
Well, that's what I told y'all 2 months ago. I said, we just got to take baby steps in the right direction. I feel like I can do this and take care of my team, come out and do this and get to where we need to get to solidify. I mean, we've got an opportunity. The state's given me the next 3 years. So why wouldn't I want to use my paving crew that has put down 75 miles since I've been in office and use that to the benefit of the county instead of paying contractors?
I understand, but it's not like there's like a.
It is absolutely a no-brainer to transfer money to protect them. And because the benefit is what they can get done for the county.
So, with all due respect, it is a brainer, something to think about because we're sitting here thinking about it. I don't think that's appropriate to say it's a no-brainer. This is a decision we have to make as a committee or budget committee one. So, but it is worth considering. I'm not saying I'm against you on this. My only point about the Robertson County employee thing was they left out the whole reason they were able to do it was the tax increase. That was the whole point of that. I don't want to get up on any more about sheriff salaries or anything. And it was a good point. Step increases may be something we need to look at for that too. It may be helpful. The way I see this is no matter what I like or don't like, and I agree with you on a lot of the points, it's either roads aren't going to get paved because we're shorting ourselves with material now by transferring money, or roads aren't going to get paved because we don't have employees to pave it and we got material that we can't use. So I don't like it, but I think it is something we just have to let budget consider if they can figure a way to allow it. I don't like it.
I think the thing is, I mean, I understand what all you're saying, but we don't have we don't have a big pile of cash sitting over here that we can just pull some money from.
Well, he does.
I know he has money there, but it's still not his cash. It's not just he's going to make less profit. It's money that was appropriated for a reason, and it was well thought out by the budget cycle, the whole deal. So there's a reason for it to be that way. Now, if there's shortfalls, I get it, but it's not just saying, well, we'll make less money on the rocking chairs we sell. It's saying we're taking this money from people.
Well, this is a normal practice. I mean, Judy has done this several times.
Well, Judy's not here.
And took money out of the fund balance to do other things that she needed to do.
I'm just saying.
This is something this is not abnormal. It's not abnormal.
Yeah.
I'll just say too, there's been, people going to talk, and people, I've heard it through other people. No one elected that I've heard this from is, well, Don Schmidt wants to spend money, and he's not conservative and all this. We did the sheriff pay study. We did it the right way. We had Commissioner Boyd, David Lowing, and Chief Jeffrey Evercratic come together, get a plan together. And I always ask Chairman Schultz this, and in truth, I'll be totally truth and transparent about it. There's another thing on our agenda tonight for the budget for the rest of the Sheriff's Department. We'll be getting into that tonight. Long story short, I went out and talked to those people and talked to the department. where we get feedback from you in that committee, whatever, the commissioner, I'm just making it say Commissioner Boyd, say if she's agreeable to it, and the finance director sit down and develop a plan to see, what can we do, take the steps to increase the pay. Because if you got a guy that's been there 2 years, he wants, you got a guy there, say 20 years, the guy that's 20 years should be rewarded more for his loyalty and dedication.
Not necessarily that, but whenever you have, and I don't work for you, Toby. I don't work for the highway department, never have. But I know in the department that I do work at my full-time job, whenever you have someone there with 15, 18, 20 years plus experience on the street that's got that under their belt, and it's the same way with you, sir. Whenever you have employees with that experience and they go somewhere else, we have paid out of our funds for their experience that someone else is going to be rewarded with. And there's a fine line that we have to walk. Number one, nobody wants to increase taxes, including me. But number two, we have to spend money in this county for the county to run. All the citizens ask us to do is to spend it like it was our own money. I'm a taxpayer. You're a taxpayer. Everyone at this table is a taxpayer in this county. I spend it just like it was my money because part of it is. So what?
Well, retainage of your employees, especially people. I mean, I had a guy that had been with the department 16 years. TDOT has started their people off at $24 an hour.
Yeah.
And
that's starting.
And he didn't make that. He was Class A CDLs, Class A operator, ran everything.
But
and he didn't even make that.
But I know I've heard you this too, we don't know with certainty either way. If the money's approved to be transferred, we don't know that's going to help keep it. We don't know if we're going to, if it's not approved, if it's going to make somebody not, if they're going to go, if they're going to stay. We don't know. It's human decision. I understand we got to make sure we meet those needs, but I'm very, very cautious about it because of the fact it's not our money to spend. It's just dangerous territory. And we got to close this up. We got to wrap it up pretty quickly. So it's like maybe one more minute worth of talking on this.
I want to ask a question. Is this an action item since it's already on budget? We added it to our agenda. Is it something we have to vote on, or budget's going to vote on anyway, no matter what we do? Or
it was my understanding that this is added as a discussion item for this committee.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
Only.
That's what it was 2 months ago. It's a discussion item because I was letting y'all know I was going to go to the budget committee.
Okay, so we don't have to make a decision on it, but the other question I have is this, have you done, have you done the pay study, Toby?
I've done a pay study.
So you have that to prepare to show, budget on what you're asking for to make them more equal to, say, Metro employees or CDOT employees?
I don't have that with me. I've got the breakdown of everybody that's left, because I'm not asking for the full amount. I'm just asking for a few dollars to try to get me to the end of the year.
I know, I just wondered what that would put their salaries at for, going forward. How close is it gonna get them to that? There's some figures that you can share with.
It's gonna take, if we do this tonight, it would take 3 years, plus. I mean, it's gonna be baby steps. I'm trying to do everything right and trying to say things right to where we're working together and working toward a common goal. And I think as long as people see that we're trying to work, I know I can't get the full amount. There's no way we can do that. I'm trying to do it as low cost as possible. That's the reason I was being transparent 2 months ago, and that's the reason I'm sitting here tonight going, it's half the money that I asked.
My question is just about transparency to where budget can see what your employees are getting to retain them. Do you have that to be able to make that case tonight? The budget is
not with me tonight, but I can get it.
I think that'd be important to see how far apart they are, see how close you're bringing them to see how long it's going to last.
And I mean, even for us to have an actual vote on it, we would need to have that kind of idea.
I think we're past that now. It's already going to budget.
I know, but
I just want it to be known to the public that we're
I have a question though, and, for legal. Does it have to go through, do we have to have a vote on it by our bylaws in order for it to, and we don't have the information to vote on it. We don't have enough information on it, but would we have had to have that before it can go to budget to even be voted on?
I don't believe so,
Don't believe so?
other than discussion.
Okay. But, if there's no vote, I don't wanna keep this any longer. I mean, we've gone over it pretty far, but, Toby, thanks for talking to us about it, and I think that, I will say that I don't wanna lose any employees, and I don't wanna lose any citizens because they can't pay their taxes. I think everybody at this table probably feels the same way. And I think that's a complete agreement. That's the reason for the argument over it, because I wanna make sure that everybody's done right on every side of the deal, because it's just, it means that much that we do the right job by the people. So, anyway, moving on to the next thing, report of the county manager, you got a report?
No report, Mr. Chairman.
There's no, commission business, so we just got one more,
Motion adjourned.
Second.
all right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Thanks, guys, sorry we stayed late.